Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. In the often isolating world of royal duty, King Charles is fortunate to have a small but steadfast inner circle, and none more vital than his sister, Princess Anne. While Queen Camilla is Charles' unwavering partner in public and private life, it is the Princess Royal who serves as the King's no-nonsense sounding board. Former BBC royal correspondent Jennie Bond describes Anne as solid and completely reliable, a woman who knows him inside and out and offers infinitely sensible advice. Their closeness was underscored at the coronation when the king entrusted Anne with the historic role of gold stick-in-waiting, a ceremonial post tasked with the monarch's personal security. Princess Anne's blunt, pragmatic style has earned her deep respect, not only from her brother but from the wider public. She is known to speak her mind, even when it diverges from the royal consensus. In a 2023 interview with CBC News, Anne openly questioned the merits of her brother's plans for a streamlined monarchy, saying simply, "It doesn't sound like a good idea." The king's former gardener had nice things to say about Charles to the Mirror. Jack Stooks said he was very much on the ball all the time. If he came home at the weekend, he would be out in the garden checking what's been done, what hasn't been done. He would be like, "This needs doing, that needs doing," the former head gardener explains. So it was really good to know you're working for somebody who actually took everything in. Stooks said that level of interest gave the team a sense of satisfaction because their work was being enjoyed and admired by the person who owns it. Stooks enjoyed all the usual suspects, from Camilla to William and Kate and even Harry, saying, "I think for me it's just the normality of how they are as people. People looking in from the outside might say, why do we have to give them money every year? But the amount of work they do for the country is just immense. You see the amount of work Charles is still doing, and he's just not giving up. He could say, 'I'm ill, I can't do this,' and the country would understand, but he's got a sense of duty." A new national park honouring Queen Elizabeth II will be built in St James Park, directly opposite Buckingham Palace, commemorating her historic 70-year reign and 73-year marriage to Prince Philip. The design includes a statue of the late Queen in a newly created civic space named Queen Elizabeth II placed near Marlborough Gate, as well as a corresponding Prince Philip Gate and statue at the park's Birdcage Walk entrance. The centerpiece is a striking new translucent bridge inspired by the Queen Mary fringe diamond tiara, famously worn and briefly broken on Her Majesty's 1947 wedding day. Replacing the park's existing blue bridge, the new structure is described as a symbol of unity, honouring Queen Elizabeth's role in bringing together communities, charities, and the Commonwealth. The surrounding grounds will also be transformed. Visitors can expect a family of gardens, winding paths, and a modern wind structure intended to create space for reflection and remembrance, all set within the familiar landscape of St James Park. Lord Foster, the architect behind the memorial and the designer of the Gherkin, said the entire plan had been created with a light touch, ensuring the natural character of the park remains intact. The feeling should be that if you visit St James Park and the site in question later, it will still feel very familiar, he explained. He called the bridge a symbol of the Queen's quiet strength and continuity, adding that the memorial space would feel gentler, quieter, more contemplative. Prime Minister Keir Starmer has said the memorial will offer everyone a place to honour the late Queen and connect with the shared history we cherish. Public consultation played a role in selecting the design, with 5 initial concepts displayed in the park earlier this year. The Queen Elizabeth Memorial Committee ultimately chose the final design with input from both experts and the public. The completed memorial is expected to be unveiled in 2026, timed to coincide with what would have been Queen Elizabeth's 100th birthday year. Statues of the late Queen already stand in several locations across the UK, but this will serve as the national focal point for remembrance in the capital. A rather fascinating royal-adjacent tale now, as a woman known to her loyal lunchtime clientele simply as Frances is going viral for her quietly aristocratic roots and delightfully unorthodox restaurant just a stone's throw from Buckingham Palace. Lady Frances Armstrong-Jones, the daughter of Lord Snowdon and thus half-sister to Lady Sarah Chatto, is indeed the product of a royal-adjacent lineage. Her father, the photographer Anthony Armstrong-Jones, married Princess Margaret in 1960 and was subsequently made Earl of Snowdon. That union produced 2 children, David and Sarah, making them the only cousins of King Charles III on his mother's side. After the Snowdons' divorce in 1978, Lord Snowdon wed Lucy Hogg. Their daughter, Frances, was born 7 months later. Now 45, Lady Frances might not appear on the Buckingham Palace balcony, but she does run one of the most singular lunch establishments in London. Nestled just 3 miles from the palace, the Yellow Bittern is a postage stamp-sized eatery with only 18 seats, open weekdays for just 2 lunch sittings. Reservations are available by phone or charmingly postcard. Payment is cash only. There is no fixed menu. Diners simply read what's on offer each day, written up on a chalkboard. More palace in just a moment. Now that Lieutenant Colonel Hottie is off the market, there's a new soldier catching the eyes of royal watchers. They were supposed to be looking at the king, but instead their eyes locked on someone else entirely. During a recent visit to the Royal Regiment of Artillery in Larkhill, King Charles shared a moment of camaraderie with military personnel while donning ear defenders and trying his hand at firing an artillery gun. But it wasn't the cannon fire that set the internet alight. It was Sergeant Neil Mitchell, the Green Beret-wearing detachment commander, who appeared in one of the royal family's Instagram photos and promptly broke the comment section. Are we not going to talk about the Green Beret guy in the first picture? Good heavens, he's handsome, gushed one user. Another admitted, I do love the king, honestly, but my eyes went straight to the really muscly guy with the green beret and the killer smile. A third summed it up succinctly. The photographer understood the assignment. Mitchell, 46, commands 14 Regiment, 34 Battery, and wore the coveted green beret, signifying completion of the elite all-arms commando course. His casual charm and warm grin in the background of the King's Instagram post quickly earned him unofficial fan favourite status. Just to set the record straight, one commenter claiming to be his sister added, he's not single. Sorry, ladies. The royal visit had originally been postponed, but Mitchell said it was an honour to be selected as the commander while the King fired his gun. He did awesome. Mitchell told Forces News, noting that Charles needed 2 tries to master the firing lever. The first one he didn't give it a good enough pull, but the second time was faultless. Charles was seen grinning after a successful shot and later received an engraved 105mm cartridge fired during the coronation. The king was also treated to a display of modern military equipment and met with soldiers, families and Chelsea pensioners. Inside the officer's mess, he viewed his great-grandfather George V's ceremonial tunic and commented, "It's lasted very well." But on social media, it was Mitchell who left the lasting impression. This isn't the first time a royal aide has turned into an unlikely internet crush. Lieutenant Colonel Johnny Thompson, dubbed the Hot Equerry, and known as Major Hottie before his promotion, became a viral sensation during Queen Elizabeth II's funeral and again at Charles' coronation. Though he eventually stepped away from public-facing duties due to all the attention, he became the subject of fan accounts and swooning comment threads. Thompson, now remarried to a PR executive named Olivia, was most recently seen with the royal family at Christmas, though he's tried to maintain a lower profile. As for Sergeant Mitchell, he's yet to issue any official statement, but he may want to prepare. Once the royal fans fall in love, they don't forget, and judging by the latest Instagram frenzy, Hot Beret Man may have just fired more than artillery. And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple, or the app of your choice, and leave us a nice review if you're enjoying the show. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue, and good times.